AITA for telling my dad I judge his actions more harshly now that I'm a widowered parent too. I 26 meters lost my wife, Annie, over a year ago when our two children were only 18 months and 4 years old. She was only 25. I lost my own mom when I was 5, so I have been where my children are, and my heart aches for them as well as for myself and for Annie, who so desperately wanted to be here for our kids. She lost her own dad when she was 6, so the reality of history repeating hit her incredibly hard before the end. I vowed to her, to myself and to our children that I would not make the same mistakes my dad and her mom made in the aftermath. I'm mostly estranged from my dad, but after Annie died he reached out to tell me he hoped I understood him better and cut him some slack for everything. I didn't respond to him at the time because I was in the most immediate sense of grief still. Today it's still raw, but I'm in therapy to try and find peace in my life. He reached out to me a few more times and he apologized for his initial message. We met up a few days ago per his request. Once he realized I still wear my wedding ring, and once he realized I was still grieving, he tried telling me I needed to move on and start looking for love again. This led to tension in the meeting and I told him to drop it or else, which is when he started saying he would hope I would see why he remarried so fast after my mom died, and why he was so happy with his second wife, and why he felt I needed a mother like he was so sure I felt my kids needed. Saying I hated him for being happier and loving his second wife more. But I should understand better now. I should understand that life has to move on, and wanting to embrace a new person fully is not a bad thing. I'm a widowed parent, and that should have opened my eyes and made me regret hating him for so long. I told him it didn't work that way, that it only made me judge his actions more harshly. He was stunned to hear this. He asked me how I was ever going to find someone else to love me and the kids if I'm hung up on Annie, and I told him Annie was the love of my life. I told him my children are the other two loves of my life, but in a different way to Annie. It's my job to give them safety, security, love, and the best life I can make happen. I told him I would never look my young children in the eye and tell them their mother is dead and they need to get over it and accept a new mother. I will never yell at my children for crying for their mother because it makes the new spouse unhappy. I told him I'm not looking to give them a new mother. I'm looking to give them the best version of the dad they have and the best out of this shitty life we have been given. I told him I will never rub it in their faces the way he did to me that I love someone else way more than I ever loved their mom. I told him I understand grieving and needing to focus on yourself but not hurting your children by trying to erase the parent they love. He called me an asshole and I left, and I wondered since if I was too harsh. AITA.